Hello, boyos. This is the Spoilercast for the season finale of Loki. Disney Plus show, MCU show. We fucking reviewing it. This is the last episode, and straight off the bat, not how I wanted it to end.
Really?
I'll put it that way. I put it that way.
Well, let me say this, Nicholas. Nicholas Sapon.
Yes.
I said it very early in the show. I think even episode 1, if you watch our first spoiler cast, I believe I said of the 3 shows, I could see this one the most being
Having a second season.
being like a show with legs, you know, because I'm like, this is like X-Files. And now that I've seen the whole series, I'm like, no, it's more like Doctor Who. Especially with this ending, which I liked the ending. I think of the 3 shows, this has the most solid ending.
Well, okay. Of the 3 shows, this is by far the best show. It's the best one of the 3.
I would say it is also the best show, but I think WandaVision has some better moments.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah,
like
I get it.
On the whole, this show is better, but WandaVision had some moments that were just so good. You know, like A tier shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? S tier shit.
S tier shit. Okay, so Owen Wilson doesn't end up on a jet ski. That made me sad.
I know, but there's still time.
Loki
There's still
loses
time.
the girl, which makes me sad.
But there's still time. They kissed.
Right. And she cares about him, but she
Great
had to do
moment.
her own thing,
Great
and
moment.
I get it. Yeah, super good. But the biggest thing for me in this episode was the exposition from the guy who didn't really seem like he was acting. Kang.
Yeah.
I think it's Kang, right? Yeah.
It is
Kang the
yeah.
Conqueror. Yeah, Kang.
They don't ever say that, but yeah.
No. But he just, I don't know. I did not like his acting. He was just like, I just showed up. And I think I guess that was supposed to be because he's seen it over and over again and he's like not surprised with anything. But I just didn't buy it. Like it just felt he was the only character in this whole show where I'm like, I don't like it. I don't like the whole attitude.
So I'm a little torn on it myself, because I wasn't expecting him to be like goofy,
Right.
and like I don't know, he was kind of silly. But the thing is, so we called this early on in the show. I think everyone in the universe called this shit. That Kang was gonna be the big bad at the end,
Right.
and the way I see it, so Carl Majors, is that his name? Jonathan Majors. That's the actor's name. So Jonathan Majors was announced to be Kang in Ant-Man vs. the Wasp, Quantumanium, or whatever the fuck that movie's called, right? And he was announced as the cast member in that movie.
Right.
And people were like, hey, are you going to be in Loki? He's like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't know. And to me, what I'm suspecting is that the version of Kang he's playing in Ant-Man and the Wasp, completely different than the version he's going to play here. And I was like, okay with this version, especially like when you really consider the fact that, all right, take all of our knowledge, right? All of our nerd knowledge. We're like, it's Kang, it's going to be Kang, right? Someone who only watches the MCU, doesn't watch anything else. They have no idea who Kang is, who anyone is, right? This guy shows up. They introduce him for the first time. He just eats the scenery for like 20 minutes of the episode. Really, it's his episode. And I think they did a pretty good job for like a villain that they introduced in the last episode for you to be like, I cannot wait until season 2 to know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah. Okay.
And like, to me, he wasn't even like a villain per se. He was like, listen, me as a human, I'm pretty bad, like all around. I start all these wars. Me, I'm like a variant that's like, I didn't want to do that, so I just kind of stopped it all from happening.
Right.
And if you
But
kill
in order to do that, I have to kill a whole bunch of timelines.
right, and if you
I
kill me,
destroy free will.
if you kill me, other versions of me are gonna come, and it's gonna be bad.
Right.
So like he was a sort of weird, goofy version, where like I think later, like season 2 of Loki and whatever we see in Quantumanium is gonna be a more like, I'm king,
yeah.
you know, like
It'll be different for sure. Yeah. And I think I think that's what they set up. They really did themselves good. Disney really did themselves fucking great with this timeline bullshit because they literally can do anything they want. It has become the tardigrade. It's become the hot tub time machine. Like you can literally do whatever the fuck you want to do. It's the Animus from Assassin's Creed. Like wherever you want to go with the show, it's open. It's an infinite possibilities. If an actor dies, you can rehire him. If an actor doesn't work out, you can rehire him and say he's from a different dimension, a different time. It doesn't matter. This is also kind of good news for, the Strange movie, Wanda and Strange, whatever that movie is going to be called.
Doctor Strange 2, and dare I say the end of this episode, it revealed that there was a multiverse of madness. Let's just say that.
That's true.
This leads right into that shit because that's what
does.
Doctor Strange 2 is called. Doctor Strange 2 and the Multiverse of Madness.
So I think our next huge villain, it might not be like Thanos huge, but it'll be like
Avengers.
Our next big Avengers villain is Kang.
Yeah. I think so too.
It leads right into Spider-Man Far From Home. It leads right into
it's called
Ant-Man Wasp,
by the way.
What?
It's called No Way Home.
Yeah, No Way Home. That's right. So it's so like it makes sense. And now She-Hulk's coming out too, and I think that's gonna stem from
that's true.
A multiverse sort of situation. So
it makes me wonder if the what ifs are gonna be like, hey, these are parallel timelines.
Yeah, these are canon because why
these
not?
are actually real. These aren't just what ifs. These are actually like happening in different timelines.
And I really love that because it is so comic books.
It is.
Like it's comic books in video form, and I really dig that.
It's cool. It's a little concerning because I mean, like, Marvel's already had like a stakes issue where, like, because no one dies, so like the stakes issue. This really takes the stakes out of everything, in my opinion, because it's like
no, because
especially with time travel, because time travel really makes things like
right. But then you get actors that die. Like I don't think we'll see. I don't think we'll see Wakanda Man in any movies. I don't. I forget his name. The Black Panther, the guy who played back. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna show up in any movies as like a digital rendering or whatnot. I don't think Tony Stark's gonna come back. I don't think Captain America's gonna come back. I just think those guys are done.
So do you think this is their way of being able to recast those people?
Yeah, exactly. So
I think even with this as an answer to that, I think people won't like receive it well. To me, this is more of an answer to like the X-Men more than anything else, because it's like, where have the X-Men been? Well, they got merged into our timeline. They've been existing totally in a different timeline forever, but now they're part of ours. It's like X-Men, they're here now,
and like mutants. Deadpool and shit like that.
Yeah,
like this is the perfect spot for Deadpool to come in.
Did you see that little short?
I did with where he's reviewing like Free Guy or whatever.
It's him and Korg. I think his name is Korg.
Yeah, that's weird. It's Ryan Reynolds being fucking Ryan Reynolds
and Taika Waititi.
I'm excited to see what the future of Marvel is. Um, it made me the end scene made me so fucking sad though. Like it made me so sad
Yeah.
where he's like, "Hey, we fucked up, you guys." And they're like, "Oh, you're an analyst, aren't you? What's your name?" And then it's just like, "Oh no, man. What the fuck?
Yeah, yeah.
What the fuck?
Oh,
Anything."
and it was played so perfectly. He's like, "You're an analyst, right?" And Loki's like, let me
What?
think. He's like, "You must be like trying to be deep with me right now." He's like, yeah. He's like, no. Like, who are you? You're an analyst, right?
Right. I actually had to like rewatch it because it was just so smooth. The
Yeah.
delivery on that was so smooth. It was just like, wait, what? How did he get to that? How did he get to this point? And it just like, did I miss something? No, it was just that well delivered that it felt like I missed something, but it was just buttery smooth
The
from
thing
like,
the thing I liked a lot about this episode versus like Wanda and Falcon. For one, Wanda and Falcon both had these like kind of happy endings, which was super weird in Wanda in particular because
Yeah.
she like held these people prisoner and it's just like, happy ending. Sorry guys, I'm out of here. But this one wasn't that. This one
No.
was, and it shouldn't be because it's Loki, and it's like, he's shit kind of hit the fan. And also it was, this whole episode was way more just like exposition than like shooty lasers, which were WandaVision
I
and
enjoy
Falcon.
that.
Me
I
too,
enjoy
because
that
it's
a
like
lot more.
I wanted all these answers and it's been leading to these questions being answered, and they answered them until the ending where it left on a cliffhanger for you to be like, I want even more.
Yeah. Season 2. Yeah, okay, cool. Great.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about them announcing season 2 in like the mid credits?
It makes sense. I mean, they did it with Mandalorian.
Yeah.
It only makes sense to do it here.
My thing is like, and like, I think of all the shows, like, yeah, Loki should probably be the long running one. But like, I kind of like the idea of these just being like mini series, like one offs. I don't want these really to be long shows. But I guess as long as it's just Loki that gets multiple seasons and it's not like, fucking
and WandaVision 2, yeah.
Well, I know that one will never, because that one was just weird anyway. But like She-Hulk season 2 and like, Hawkeye season 2, it's like, no, I want more just like one-offs, because I feel like those are way more impactful and you could tell more of a like complete story there.
Yeah.
I don't want all of these shows to end with these cliffhangers like that. I'm okay with it here, but if these shows keep doing that, I have a feeling these shows are going to turn into what happened on Netflix. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just going to be oversaturation really quickly, and then it's just going to be like, okay, season 2 of Loki. Well, I don't really like Loki. The third season kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I'm more into She-Hulk, and then that kind of sucks.
Well, as long as Loki is like the Daredevil of the Netflix series, and that's the only one that goes, because that one was good for all 3 seasons, and all these other ones can be one-offs. Because it's way more appealing to be like, hey, we hired like this director to like tell this concise but like longer form story about this character, and then that's it.
Yep.
Like
a one-off. I enjoy that way more.
Yeah, me too. And it has, they can like tell some like real like MCU changing shit that you don't want to put in the movies because maybe it's too weird, which is why I think they did this in Loki.
Could you imagine if this was a movie though? Like how they would pull this off as a movie?
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing about this show is, they set up this like multiverse, but like if it just came out in Spider-Man, right? And it's like, hey, there's a multiverse. I think everyone would be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it is a little unnecessary to do this show, but it's like,
happen. I think that's what's going to happen because the people who aren't watching the show, they're going to have to catch up somehow. And Marvel's going to give them answers like what happened, It's going to be like, hey, watch our Disney Plus show, but in case you missed it, here's a little trailer for you about what happened, and then it'll be like, yeah, there's a multiverse. It's kind of like the way they explain the blip in Endgame. Like if you didn't see Infinity War, you kind of got the impression of what happened in Endgame,
Just with that opening sequence.
It's just with the opening sequence. They do so far they've done a pretty good job at like filling you in.
Endgame, you really needed to see Infinity War though.
Well, yeah, it definitely makes it better, especially like the scene where Thor like lobs his head off.
Go for the head.
But I think they'll do. I think they're gonna rehash what has gone over in the shows in a movie of some sort.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. Like, this show is a little unnecessary because, like, what I mean by like, they didn't have to explain that like because of Loki now there is a multiverse.
Right.
It could have just been like the multiverse always existed. Here it is, and that could have been their whole exposition. And they decided, no, let's have a reason behind it.
Yeah, Loki fucks the whole thing up.
Yeah, which is like, that's neat, I guess. And you get to introduce Sylvie, who I really like as a character. I'm excited to see more of her in season 2. I'm really excited to see more of Owen Wilson. He killed it in this episode when he was talking to the director, because I just love the way he like whispers. He's like, oh, what are you doing? Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
He always whispers.
We're friends. We're friends, aren't we?
Friends.
Yeah. You're the one that betrayed me.
And then he's like, oh, I'll stab you. And then she just like totally.
But like he knew she was going to do that.
Yeah. Well, he just, yeah. And I also think because this is like, we're setting up a season 2, let's build a little bit more character on Mobius. He doesn't fight. That's Mobius. Mobius doesn't fight. And that was like, it felt like a character moment almost.
For sure.
Yeah.
And
Mobius
maybe one day when the whole series wraps up, eventually, he'll get on a jet ski.
I know. I was really hoping we'd get the jet ski.
But it makes sense for not keeping it in one season. Like all of the things that they set up in this episode have to be it's obvious that there's a second season. Like they didn't really even have to say there's a second season, because it was just like, yeah, all the shit that you've been setting up, yeah, that makes sense. Like where did the freaking what's her face go, the director or whatever her name is,
right? Yeah.
What happened to the TVA? Like what happened to Sylvie? What happened to there's so many unanswered questions and so much more setup that it's just.
Yeah. My guess is that this leads I think this is going to have ramifications on everything going forward. I think Shang-Chi is probably going to be like a more, like isolated sort of thing.
Right. Yeah.
Just setting up that character, and then we'll maybe get a post-credit scene. It's like, hey, we need you in the Avengers or something. And then I think Eternals also will be a sort of self-isolated thing, because it's like setting up new characters. And with the post-credits, that's like, hey, we need you in the Avengers or something.
Right. But
I think Spider-Man, which comes out in December, which it's crazy, we're getting 4 fucking Marvel movies this year. that's nuts. But yeah, I think Spider-Man will do the multiverse thing, and I think it'll be more like just kind of exploring the multiverse, where it'll be like, hey, this might be the last Spider-Man movie, so like let's just have fun with the multiverse aspect of it.
You think this will be the last Spider-Man movie?
Well, not ever, but I think it might be the last with the Marvel Productions. Considering they had that huge blow up after the last one, and it was like a total mystery whether this one was going to exist. Yeah, I think this might be the last one.
A huge blow up? What do you mean by that?
Remember Marvel and Sony had that like huge thing where they were like the contract expired and they were like, no, you don't, we're not going to let that happen. We're not going to let you have it back. They must have come to some agreement behind the scenes, but I really feel like this might be the last Spider-Man movie. He might show up in like the Avengers movie one last time, but I feel like this might be the last, especially because like most of these characters have only had 3 fucking movies anyway.
Right.
And this would be his fucking 3rd.
Right. But the way
Iron Man only had 3.
You know how Sony is when it comes to deals, though. Like PlayStation, Sony, they're the same. Like you got the same company. If PlayStation or if Sony is making money by doing literally nothing, they will do that. You know,
I don't think they literally do nothing though with these Spider-Man movies. I think they do all the marketing for them. I think they put up the production cost. It's just like they're the producers of the movie. Just think of it like video games, right? Sony is the publisher, well, Marvel is the developer, right?
Right.
Disney Marvel is the developer of the movie, but Sony still publishes it. They still put it out there. They still distribute it. They still put all the work into it. So I'm pretty sure they're probably like, man, we're kind of setting up our own thing with fucking, and it'd be
Venom.
nice to have with Venom and Carnage and
Morbius.
Morpheus or
Morbius.
what Morbius.
Jesus.
You know, and they're probably thinking, you know, it'd be nice to have Spider-Man to throw into that mix of villains. So I don't know. But I mean, that's all speculation. So I do think like the next Spider-Man movie is just going to be like, hey, let's have fun. Let's bring fucking Tobey Maguire in. Let's, let's bring in fucking Doc Ock from Spider-Man
Andrew
2.
Garfield. Yeah.
Andrew Garfield might appear. Like, yeah, let's just like go crazy with the whole multiverse thing. And then I think Multiverse of Madness is going to be like the big blow up that leads to Loki season 2. Right. And then after Multiverse of Madness, we get season 2, and then we'll probably get the Avengers movie, whatever that is.
Right. I don't know, man, because I think they're working together. Sony and Disney, I think, are working together.
I'd love to be wrong. Like, don't get me wrong. I'd love to
put together the Sinister Six, because in the first Spider-Man Homecoming, you got Vulture, right?
Yeah.
And Vulture like runs into Scorpion in prison. And Scorpion's like, "Hey, I heard you know who the Spider-Man is." And he's like, "If I did, he'd be dead." But then also they set up like Venom and Carnage. Or is that only in the Venom movie? Is Carnage only in the Venom movie?
Yeah.
I could have swore Woody Harrelson's in the MCU as Carnage.
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so. And I haven't seen those Venom movies. Well, the second one's not out yet, but I didn't even see the first one.
It's pretty okay. It's kind of stupid, but
it looks stupid. That's why I didn't see it.
It's for edgy kids.
I love Carnage too, and I don't have the heart to see it. Looks like they're gonna make a joke out of Carnage, and I don't like that. I don't like that. Carnage should be a rated R film.
Yeah, it should be.
His name is Carnage.
So should Venom.
I don't know. Venom is always... I associate Venom far more with Spider-Man than I do Carnage.
What do you associate Carnage with?
The Carnage comics, where he's just killing people and doing Carnage things.
Oh, see, I get him with Spider-Man. Like that just makes sense to me.
I have like a huge collection of like Carnage comics, and oh man, the art is so fucking good. Anyway, tangents.
Yeah,
I don't know. I liked this episode. We haven't really talked. We're talking a lot about the future of the MCU and not a whole lot about the episode, but
Well, I mean, what is there to talk about?
Yeah, I feel like
they
this.
show up. They show up to the castle, which we saw at the end credits of the last one, and then they walk in. They meet Kang, and he literally just tells them everything, and then Sylvie stabs him, and the whole thing just kind of collapses, explodes, and there's more timelines, and it's all set up. Like that was the end of the episode. Was there wasn't a whole lot going on,
But there was.
episode.
I mean, like there was a lot of exposition. That yeah, and it just leads to the ramifications of the MCU, which I guess is why we've gone so heavily into the MCU and the future of the MCU. This more than almost any other, like even the movies, like has had more ramifications on the MCU than anything else, I think. Other than Infinity War, where the snap, but
where it literally killed people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like with Ultron and in Avengers 1, I didn't feel like anything would have changed. You know, I just didn't feel like anything actually changed in those films.
Well, yeah, I mean, like they're big threats. Like Ultron was like going to like police the entire, like enslave the entire world or whatever, and then like the first Avengers was about Hydra, and like Shield is actually Hydra or whatever. I don't even remember. It's been so long.
Well, the first Avengers was Loki.
Oh yeah, you're right. Loki comes in. I'm thinking of fucking Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It's been so long since that first Avengers movie I don't think holds up, but I haven't watched it in a long time, so
It probably does okay.
I didn't even like it when it came out. I remember when it came out and I'm like, I don't even understand why people like this so much.
Because
it was kind of lame.
It's different.
Yeah.
It took all of the characters that they were setting up and it put them together, and it did it okay. You know?
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. It wasn't what are they called?
Fantastic Four.
Well, it wasn't but that's one character group, you know, that's the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Which I
this is
really
Avengers.
fucking hope they add to
They will.
to the fucking timeline. Yeah, it's
Apparently-
really interesting.
Apparently it got confirmed that Loki is going to make an appearance in Doctor Strange. So
I could see that.
yeah.
I could
Seems
see
like
that.
these shows are leading straight into Doctor Strange, aside from Falcon Winter Soldier, which seems to be leading into the next Captain America movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if the villains of this next stretch, forever how long it is just going to be Kangs. Like there's not going to be any other villain except like different iterations of Kang.
Yeah, I think not every movie, but I think like Kang will be the villain of Multiverse of Madness. He will be the villain of Quantumania. He will be the villain of season 2 of Loki, and he will probably be the villain of Avengers, which I think is really fucking cool because it's like, man, you're really building this villain up as because it's like we're stopping this villain from doing this one thing. We can't fully stop him, but we'll stop him from doing this thing. And then in Ant-Man and the Wasp, they're like, we'll stop him from doing this thing. We can't fully stop him, but we stopped him from doing whatever he's trying to do in this movie.
We stopped one version of him trying to complete one.
Or like one aspect of his plan, but he's still out there. And then it all leads to Avengers where they all come together and they're like, okay, we need to fucking take this dude out for real.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And
the Fantastic Four are here. Look at that.
Holy shit. Holy crap. The Fantastic Four showed up. Who did they bring? Oh shit, it's Doom. That's much worse. That's political. All right.
The show or Avengers ends and they're all about to lose to Kang. Some dude in a metal suit comes out. He's like, I have a solution. and it's fucking Doctor Doom. And he's like, I take over the world.
Just fucking crushes
Roll
everything.
credits.
He somehow like fuses the timelines together.
So
Fixes everything.
I did say this earlier in our reviews of Loki, I believe, where I'm like, this could be also where Marvel like jumps the shark, you know? Because like this is pretty like wacky, you know?
I like it though. I like the wackiness.
I like it too. So
and the
far.
the next show, What If, is gonna be fucking wacky.
Yeah, but What If doesn't really feel like a real thing. Just kind of feels like a, you know, just like a fun thing. I don't even think we need to do one of these for What If, you know.
You don't think so? Well, we'll see. We'll watch the first episode and
we'll see. I just think they're, you know, they're just like fun little cartoons. I don't think we'll see. They're not going to have like ramifications on the MCU. There's like nothing to spoil, you know.
I don't know.
We'll see.
Well, that's been our show of our deep dive, I guess. I guess it's kind of a deep dive. Our deep dive of the Loki show. This finale came out. We'll probably put all these together like we did with Falcon Winter Soldier for a big long episode. And thanks for hanging out, listening.
Yeah, and we will also be reviewing Black Widow in the next 6 weeks at some point.
Whenever I get a chance to.
I saw it. Let me give my quick review of Black Widow, okay? Here it is. Quick review. It's pretty good.
Okay. Oh, I'll have to see it. It'll probably be this weekend. I'll probably get really fucking bored and just go to the movies by myself like a loser.
Well, since we won't have anything next Wednesday, maybe we do it then.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah.
Or I could rent the Hulk and watch that too.
We could do both next week. We could do Black Widow and the Hulk. We could do Black Widow on Monday and Hulk on Wednesday.
We could try that.
I'm down for that.
We could do it. Thanks for watching. This has been the Lonercast. Follow us on everything. Whatever.
Live.
Take it easy.
Live scheduling on air.
Live scheduling on air. Yeah, that's what you get. It's the Lonercast guarantee.
The Lonercast guarantee, baby.